want to begin with a little moment that stayed with me. A few months back, I misplaced a tiny ring I'd worn for years. Nothing flashy, just a smooth silver band that felt like a quiet hello when I rubbed it between my fingers. I panicked for a beat, then kept noticing how often my hand reached for that texture on mornings that felt ragged. When the ring turned up in the pocket of an old coat, I pressed it to my chest and felt something shift, a small coming back to myself. That's the thread of today, how a small object can steady us when life shifts underneath. Welcome to the Self-Care Cafe podcast. I'm your hostess, Pami Parker. Here at the cafe, we take a gentle pause from the busyness of life and gather around conversations that nourish the heart, the mind, and the spirit. On today's menu, a little reflection, a little wisdom, and a short practical practice to help you carry calm through change. So settle in, take a breath, and let's begin. I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Mira Santos, a somatic therapist and ritual coach who works with people in big life shifts, endings, beginnings, and the in-between. Mira, thank you for being here. Thank you so much, Pami. It's a joy to be here. I help people build gentle, embodied practices that fit into real life, things they can actually use when a day feels heavy or a decision feels unclear. Touchstone objects are small but powerful, sensory, portable, and they reconnect the body to a sense of safety and intention. Can you say a little about why a pebble or ribbon or simple trinket can do the work words sometimes can't? Absolutely. In somatic work, we often point to a few overlapping mechanisms.
Oh, can you slow there for a second? I like the word mechanisms.
Sure. First, touch and texture give the nervous system immediate nonverbal information. That's sensory grounding. Second, small objects can become conditioned cues. If you pair a felt sensation with a steadying breath over time, your body learns the association. Third, the act of noticing or holding interrupts the worry loop. It brings attention back to the present and downregulates reactivity. There's research on grounding and interoception that aligns with these ideas. Sensory cues, practiced consistently, can reduce physiological arousal and support emotion regulation. That matches what I felt with my ring. Not magic, just a tiny door back to calm. Do you have a client story that brings this to life? Yes, I once worked with a client, Anna, who was navigating a sudden career ending and the loss of a routine that gave her identity. She began carrying a smooth coin-sized stone she found on a walk.
Small object, big effect, I'm guessing.
Exactly. At first, she'd rub it in her pocket when panic rose. Then we practiced a simple micro-ritual. 3 grounding breaths while holding the stone, a short line she repeated to herself, and placing the stone on her bedside table at night as a signal to rest. Over weeks, she noticed fewer spirals and a steadier sense of self. The steadiness wasn't about the stone's power, it was the repeated regulation the stone cued. I love that. And I'm curious, how do we know we're not just numbing with a thing? Great question. The difference shows up in whether the object opens us to felt experience or simply distracts. If the object gives you a moment to notice sensation, name an emotion, and then choose a supporting response, it's a regulation tool. If you find you're avoiding feeling anything at all and using the object to escape, that's a cue to slow down and maybe work with a therapist or a trusted friend. Intent matters more than the item. That's helpful. Intent over ornament. Let's do a short no shopping practice now. I'll guide you through choosing or imagining a touchstone and giving it a tiny ritual. Okay, first, find a small, safe object near you. Something you already own or something natural. A pebble, a coin, a button, a length of ribbon, a ring, or a pressed leaf. If you can't find anything, imagine the texture and weight of an object that feels grounding. Ready? Now hold the object in your hand. Notice its temperature, its edges, the way your fingers meet it. You don't need to change anything. Simply notice. Take a slow breath in and let your exhale soften the shoulders. If your mind drifts, perfectly normal. Bring attention back to the object and to your breath. On the next in-breath, think the word arrive, or pick a short phrase that feels true. Maybe, I am here, or one step. On the out-breath, imagine the tension melting away. Repeat this 3 times. Breathe in, arrive. Breathe out, soften. Breathe in, arrive. Breathe out, soften. One more time. In, arrive. Out, soften. As you do that, notice any subtle shift in your body. A lightening behind the eyes, a loosening at the jaw, a steadier heartbeat. That small bodily hint is your cue. It tells you the object is beginning to hold meaning. If it feels quiet for now, that's fine. The connection deepens with gentle repetition. I'm thinking of that ring in my pocket again, that small weight of coming back. Next, give the object a name or a short intention. You might say aloud, for steadiness, for going forward, or simply, with me. Naming helps memory and gives the object purpose. Speak your phrase softly once, if you like. Now imagine one small moment when you'll use this touchstone, before a meeting, in the car, as you climb the stairs, or when you lie down at night. Picture taking it out, feeling it between your fingers, and taking 2 steadying breaths. This is the start of a micro ritual you can repeat. Hold that image for a beat. A practical tip. Place the object where you'll see it, by your toothbrush, on the nightstand, or tied to your keyring. The easier it is to reach, the more likely you are to use it. And keep it sustainable. Favor found or already owned items so this doesn't become another purchase habit. The practice matters more than the object. You are building a habit of returning to your body. Quick safety note. If the object brings up strong grief or a memory that feels too heavy, it's okay to set it down. Sit with a friend or place the object somewhere safe and seek extra support. These trinkets help many people, but tenderness deserves care. When you're ready, rest your hands and take a slow, shared breath with me. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Some practical ways to use the touchstone. Morning clarity. Touch it while naming an intention. Transitions. Move it from pocket to bag to mark the end of one roll and the start of another. Difficult conversations. Hold it in your non-dominant hand to steady the nervous system. Bedtime. Place it beside you as a signal to rest. Small, repeated uses create the cue response pattern we want.
And a few common bumps, leaning on an object to avoid processing feelings or slipping into consumerism. How do we keep this practice helpful and ethical?
First, use the touchstone as an entry point, not an escape. Let it create a pause so you can check in. What does my body need now? If grief surfaces, allow it room and name it. Second, favor found or already owned items to avoid needless buying. Third, be mindful of cultural or sacred symbols. Avoid repurposing items from traditions you're not part of. Keep the ritual personal, simple, and respectful. Before we close, Mira, if someone only remembers 3 things from today, what would you want them to hold on to? 1. The object is a cue. It holds a practice, not magic. 2. Keep it accessible and pair it with breath or a short phrase. 3. Be gentle. If the object touches grief, pause and reach for support. Thank you, Mira. And thank you, listeners, for taking this small pause with us. If you'd like a printable Touchstone worksheet, a brief audio companion for the practice, and a list of low-cost or no-cost object ideas, visit our website. We've put everything there to help this fit into real life. Come as you are. Leave nourished. Thank you for listening.